phase of season and in with the next. We finished up non-conference in a really awesome way with a great win against Western Michigan, a 4-0 week. A great win against a Western Michigan team that probably will lose 3-4 times all season. Really, really good team. To get to 10-4 non-conference, which is an outstanding non-conference portion considering everything we've been through, and now we turn the page and start conference play. A little disappointed with the way the conference schedule laid out this year, with us playing, the number 2 and number 3 pick teams in the league right away. I would love for those to have been a little bit later in the year, especially with us being as young as we are in places. But it is what it is. We're playing, a UTEP team who's picked second, but probably is playing better than anybody in our league right now. And so it'll be a big challenge, here in week 1 in Diddle Arena. So we're looking forward to getting started. Questions?
Just want to get your impressions. I don't know how much time you've had to put into looking at the rest of the conference, but with a kind of a definitely a new look. USA, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I said preseason. I think everybody thought that because Rice was no longer in Conference USA, that the league would be down in volleyball, and it's absolutely just the opposite. This is the most competitive league I can remember there ever being. You've got Middle Tennessee, who's already knocked off a ranked team. You've got UTEP, who knocked off a ranked team. You've got I can't remember who else it was in that. When Middle won, Cassie, who was the other team that beat a ranked team? That St. Liberty. Liberty beat Hawaii, and so our league is healthier than it's ever been in volleyball. It's Rice and Western Kentucky have carried the torch for a long time, but UTEP has been right there with us the last couple years, and they were young and kind of had to live through all the really experienced teams at Western Kentucky and Rice, and now this year I think UTEP is kind of seeing the fruits of all that labor. They're an experienced team. They're athletic. They're physical. They're really good, really good, and so the league is good. We have more top 25 wins probably than we've had in recent memory out of this league already, and so the challenge is going to be great over the next month and a half, 2 months.
This preseason schedule, you said before the season started, you didn't expect you all to go undefeated or anything like that, and expect to take some love. With these past these 4 tournaments that you've done, what have you learned from those?
I've learned it's been very difficult. I can't say enough times how thrilled I am to be 10-4. 10-4 would have been a really good mark for us if everything went right and we were 100% healthy. And it's been just the opposite, as you know, from covering us for the last 3 or 4 weeks. It seems like hardly anything's gone right. And, we've been mired with sickness and injury and all those kinds of things. And so, it certainly has battle tested us. There's no doubt about that. We know the challenges we have ahead of us in this league. And but we won't walk out there with any fear in our eyes, but considering the schedule that we've played, because every single match it seems like we've been playing someone who can really play, and certainly the next couple opponents are that in conference play to start off.
Piggybacking off of that, does it, you say you don't want to play the number 2 and number 3 preseason pick teams right off the bat, but does it help that you played a few top ranked teams already?
Yeah, I hope so. I hope that's the benefit, because again, when we get out there, it's going to just feel like another game because, the quality of opponent, when you've been playing Penn State and Marquette and Arkansas and Western Michigan, these teams, when we walk out there against UTEP and Liberty, it's not going to look that different in terms of the quality in a very respectful way. Like they're all top tier teams in the country. And so I think that part of it will be good. Like we're used to having to play well to be successful. But, again, with the youth that we have, it would have been nice to have a little bit more time. We're still very much a work in progress. And I certainly have no doubts we'll be better in November than we are in September. But it's just the way this thing is laid out. So we'll take it as it comes. I'll let you know. We did it during COVID. I very much think it's the right idea, given the landscape of our league, in the geography of our league. I think it's very much the right idea to get somewhere and knock out 2 matches and stay in one hotel and only have one flight and do, as opposed to trying to fly from El Paso to Miami and, from Ruston to, somewhere in that's just it's just too much to ask of kids. It's financially would be a disaster. I think it would be, physically it would be a disaster. And so I think it only makes sense to play a common opponent 2 days in a row. We learned during COVID, obviously we did that during COVID, and we learned during COVID that there's a lot of challenges to beating someone in back-to-back days. That is not an easy thing to do. It is a real challenge, win or lose. If you win the first one, it's very often hard to get your kids' attention, for the second day. And, so it's something we're all dealing with equally. And given the circumstances that we're in our league, I think it's the smart play. And, would you like to have a little more, two different, it is what it is at this point. I think it's going to have its goods and bads regardless of how it's worked out. And I think there's less bads in the structure that they're in right now. Yeah, what a really cool weekend it was. It really exceeded my expectations. I'm not sure, I thought there was a scenario where it would just be a name change and it would be on a T-shirt and everybody would go on about their business, but it really did grab a lot of attention. You saw things nationally, with the NCAA volleyball and all that, where they were recognizing, the initiative that we had going on with the Alyssa Kavanaugh Classic. And again, I think it's just a testament to the impact that she had on the sport of college volleyball, because it runs much deeper than just here in Bowling Green, Kentucky. And that was really neat to see. It was difficult for me at times. They ran a little promotional video between sets that couldn't help but grab my attention a little bit, and that was a difficult moment for me. But overall, it was a great experience to do that. I'm looking forward to continuing to do that, and I think it's super cool that that Paige Briggs, as an outside hitter who's heard so much through the years regarding Alyssa Kavanaugh, broke our all-time kill record in the final wrap-up match of the weekend was a kind of a storybook deal. I knew she was rolling. I knew she was hot, but before the match, I did something that I don't do. Like usually, I stay to the script, and before we went to the floor, I spent some time talking about Alyssa and just the way she approached things and the fearlessness that she played with. And we kind of put the X's and O's on the back burner and just talked about honoring her with a fearless mentality. And Paige certainly exhibited a fearless mentality. I mean, she was relentless all the way up to the last point, and you could just feel it. And excuse me, you could just feel it. And even the last, I think Katie Howard dug that last ball, and when I saw it leave Callie Bauer's hands, if you go back and watch it on video, I just stand up. Because I know it's a wrap at that point, because she was just in such a rhythm and was playing with such a fearless attitude that you knew she was going to finish that and put an exclamation point on it. And a really, really cool moment.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, and you probably just answered it, but what was she doing just a little bit better than normal to produce?
Yeah, Western Michigan has very, very few weaknesses, but one of their weaknesses is their setter is a little bit undersized as a blocker. She's not a huge blocker, and the way the matchups fell in that match, Paige happened to be matched up with their setter. And I can understand why Western Michigan didn't want to switch, because if you make a switch, you're matching up your setter with Kaylee Cox, who's 6'2". And so you probably do leave her on the 5'10" Paige Briggs, but Paige is no normal 5'10" outside hitter. And so when we saw that matchup, I like to be balanced. I like to have a good balanced offense, but I went to Callie Bauer and early in that match, and when I saw that matchup, and I said, Callie, let's don't overthink it here. Like this is our matchup, and until they make some kind of adjustment, that's where I want you. Like, I don't want you to overthink it. I'm not going to overcoach it. And so it was just a matchup that we were able to exploit. It's the funny thing about our sport. when a kid gets hot in basketball, you can double team them. When a receiver is going off in football, you can send somebody else there and double them. And in volleyball, there's a big net between us and the other side of the net. And so you can get the ball to your stars as many times as you want. And sometimes it gets very difficult to stop. And Paige was obviously in quite a groove.
Warren, I wanted you to ask about the importance of getting back in position and not stopping until the whistle blows every single play.
The importance of what? Getting
back in position and not stopping until the whistle's blown every single play.
Well, there's, again, it's such a funny game we play, and sometimes these rallies get long. Our players don't always do a great job because we're so terminal offensively that a lot of rallies are short. But when these rallies go back and forth and you come up and cover under a block in case it gets blocked and then have to really work to get back to where it takes a discipline that I'm not sure our team has a great discipline doing, but it's just important to make that transition. It's like an offense, defense, getting back on defense in basketball. You got to get back and in our sport, it's about getting on balance because the ball comes off in such funky ways that becomes a big issue. So it's about getting back, getting on balance play after play. So.
You usually do have a little bit of a break here to work on. What's on the to-do list?
Serving's always on my to-do list. I still think there's way more to do serving. I can't tell you how excited I am to be in a phase now where we can get back in there and train. That's why I wish some of these bigger matchups were later in the year to give us a little bit more time. Because when you're in non-conference, last week when I was sitting here, we were preparing for 4 matches, 4 different teams. This week we're preparing for 1 team, and it leaves a lot more time. And defending, blocking, serving, 2 phases of defense are really huge for us. And then just continuing to develop our young middle hitter play. The better we get in there, they had a better weekend this weekend. The better they get in there, the better we're going to be overall.
The next set of games that you have, they're all on different days, whether it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Do you have to how do you adjust to that when your schedule constantly changes?
It's just that one disruptive week in there where they have us playing on a Tuesday, Wednesday, and it's kind of odd. There's a bye week in there, and then all of a sudden you're playing on a Tuesday, Wednesday. That's going to be the tough transition. We play Tuesday, Wednesday at Liberty, and then play again Friday, Saturday. So Saturday, Sunday. So we play Tuesday, Wednesday, travel home, Thursday, Friday, and then back to. It's just. I think the craziness of a non-conference schedule helps. Because we play so much in non-conference that we'll just take it as it comes. And, once we get beyond that Liberty week, it will pretty much settle into a Friday, Saturday pattern for the rest of the year, and I'm certainly looking forward to that.
Is that conference-wide, or is that?
It's conference-wide, and everybody has one of these midweek matchups. And, I feel like we're fortunate to a certain degree that our midweek, our Tuesday, Wednesday comes in a weekend off in there. And so we'll get a little bit of rest on the front end, and then we just got to grind through that week. But, I'm not a scheduling guru. I feel like there's a better way, but I wouldn't want them to give me the pen and paper and have me figure it out. I'll just keep coaching them whenever they tell me.
Anything else?
All right, guys.